And it's simple yes or no. Do you already have Roboform? And just click on either yes or no, whichever it is, and then you'll see a little green button at the bottom that says send your vote, and just click on that. And when you do that, you'll get a thank you for your participation in the vote. Okay, so we're almost have everyone voted. We'll wait just a minute or two. And it looks like they're okay. It looks like everyone has voted now. And that being the case, not everyone does have Roboform yet. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with a little introduction. If you don't already have Roboform, let's talk about buying Roboform or where to get it. And what I'd like you to do is go ahead and, not right now, but when you're ready to do it after the webinar, just go ahead and go to our website, 4kcc.com, and that's where you go right there. And when you get to our website, we have a menu that goes across the top right under the green ribbon. It's the home, service, training, merchandise, etc. So what you want to do is go to the merchandise and put your mouse over there. You actually don't have to click. You just put your mouse over there. And when you do that, you get a little drop-down menu. And in that drop-down menu, the very first item says computer-related products we recommend. So now you left-click there, and you get a new web page. And first you see hardware that we recommend. Then you see software. And in the very first row over on the right-hand side, you see Roboform. So you click on that. And when you click on that, a little window opens up. And it asks you, do you want to select your license? Now let's talk about this a little bit. It gives you the option to buy Roboform Everywhere. And they have different prices there, and you can save a little more by buying 3 years or 5 years. You can save 25%. But here's what Roboform Everywhere is. If you are going to use Roboform on more than one device, then Roboform Everywhere is the way to go. Now that is a subscription service. So that means every year you would have to resubscribe. Otherwise your Roboform stops working. However, Roboform Everywhere, that's not the only option. If you look closely on this same window, I've circled where it says see more license options. So we'll click on that, and now you have Roboform Desktop for Windows and for Mac, which you can buy outright for $29.95. And that's not a subscription. You buy it one time and you're done. If you only have one computing device and you're not going to want to log in from more than one device, this might be the way to go. Also on the right, you see you can get Roboform to go, which for $39.95, you can store your Roboform passwords and all the other things that go with it on a USB drive, which means you actually could take it from computer to computer or device to device that has a USB drive. But again, it's $39.95 per USB drive. And that is something then, a USB drive is a hard drive, and all hard drives crash. So you have to keep that in mind that if you want to go that route. Now, you might say, okay, what platforms does Roboform work in? It works on these platforms, desktops, Windows, and Mac. On mobile, it's for iOS, meaning the iPad and the iPhone, and that app is free. If you only use the app itself on mobile, it's free. Android, it's free. Linux is free. And then, of course, you have Roboform for USB, which we just said was $39.95. So, if you were only going to use it on the iPhone, you actually can use it for free. If you're only going to use it on an Android phone, it's free. But most of us are probably going to use it on a computer, most of you that are in the webinar today. So that's sort of where we're going to look. Now, Roboform integrates with certain browsers to put a toolbar in place, and it integrates with Internet Explorer, Google Chrome, Firefox, and Opera. It does not work with Microsoft Edge in Windows 10. It does not work with Safari on Mac. You can't have the toolbar in either of those browsers. Now, for me, I'm a big Roboform user, as many of you that I see are logged in today know already. So for me, it was a little disappointing that Microsoft has not yet approved Roboform, and I've been tweeting them about it. So consequently, I wind up using Google Chrome way more than I normally would because I can have Roboform in it. But that's simply where we're at right now, and hopefully that'll change. Okay, when you first install Roboform, you're asked to create a master password. Now, this password needs to be your most secure because it's protecting all of your other passwords. So for instance, for me, I looked, I have about 250 passwords in Roboform. And the level of security in those passwords goes from, very good to excellent to impossible to break. But the very strongest password is the one that protects Roboform. Because if that's not a good, strong password, all of your other passwords are in jeopardy should someone hack into your Roboform. So be very careful if you haven't installed Roboform yet. Make sure that you install a good, strong password, which on our website and blog, we have plenty of information about using strong passwords. Okay, and now if you purchase Roboform Everywhere, I actually say you may have a different password, but pretty much you do have a different password. If you log into that password, um, you just have to have a different password for everywhere. Now, the good news is that you can store that password right in Roboform along with all of your other passwords. Someone had asked me earlier this week, they were confused. They said, they have an Everywhere account, and they were confused as to why that password is different. And again, it's a layer of security so that you have a different password to get into your account online and a different password to actually access the passwords on your computer. Um, and by the way, as an example, here's my Roboform Online account, has my username, and of course I've blotted out the majority of the password. I like all of you that are here in the webinar today, but I didn't really want to give you access to my Roboform Online account, so I just erased a fair portion of the password. But again, I don't remember my Everywhere password either, but I have it stored in Roboform, and I just go to that and I can sign in with that. Now, let's suppose that you already have Roboform, and after I'm telling you that this needs to be your strongest password, you realize, maybe I used a password like miser1 or something like that to protect all of Roboform, and you say, I better change that. So here's how you do that. You go to your Roboform in the toolbar, and when you go to the toolbar, you'll see it highlighted in yellow. And so what you do is you put your mouse there and click on it, and when you do, you get another menu, and on that menu, you see things like logins, bookmarks, identities, and once again, I've highlighted options, which is where you want to click. So I'm going to click on options, and when I do that, I get another window, and on the left-hand side, I have lots of options there. I'm going to pick security, and you see that circle red right now. So click on security. Now I go on the right-hand side and I click on Set Master Password. All right, so I left click on that if I'm a lefty, and it brings up the Roboform window. Now, if you are not already logged into Roboform, if you're Roboform logged out or you just started the computer or something, it will give you a window asking you to put your Roboform master password in. It won't do anything unless you do that. So I was already logged in, so I didn't get that window. And I just got this one that it wants to verify my master password, and I'm going to click on next, which you see the next right here. And I click on that, and then when I do that, what happens, it goes through and checks all the passwords, and then I come up with this window that says new master password. I'm going to click where it says set a new master password. And of course, I have that circled in red so you see it. So I'm going to click with my mouse and put a dot there and click next. And when I do that, it comes up and it gives me the option to choose a master password. And of course, I have to retype it to verify it. On the right-hand side, it will tell me whether or not the password is weak, good, or excellent. So if you were to type in a password and you wanted to change it and it said weak, you got to find another password. You don't want a weak password. In fact, you want nothing but excellent for the master password. And you would either delete what you put and put something else, or you could add to it or something. And then when you do that, the next that's showing down here at the bottom, right now it's grayed out because I didn't put any password in there yet. But once you put a password and verify it, the next will light up and you just go ahead and click next. And there'll be a couple more windows in the wizard, but basically it will change your master password. The master password is the only one that you really have to remember. I mentioned if Roboform, if you were logged out or if it had locked. So that's another thing. You need to set when Roboform is locked. Okay, so once again, I'm going to the toolbar and I go to Roboform and I click on that. And again, on the left, I go to security. And then on the right-hand side, right under where we had set the master password, there's a section that allows us to set when we want Roboform to automatically log off. So for instance, the first option, which I have a check mark in, is auto log off on screensaver start. So if you have a screensaver on your computer and it goes into screen saving mode, Roboform locks automatically. That means when you come back and you move your mouse and stop the screensaver, if you go to use Roboform, you will have to log in again. The second one down, which I also have a check mark in, auto log off on sleep or standby. So if I put this computer to sleep, or if it goes to sleep on its own, if I have a setting that way, it will automatically log out of Roboform. And when I go back to use Roboform, I have to put my password in again. The third option is to log off if you switch users, if you have more than one user on your computer, or if you lock the workstation or you lock your computer. So if you walk away and lock it, Roboform is locked. If someone else comes along and is able to unlock your computer, unless they have the master password, they won't be able to get into Roboform. And then the one that's really kind of the most important is that you change the default. And to be honest with you, I've forgotten what the default time is because I'm pretty sure I changed it immediately. But I have mine set to auto log off after 120 minutes or 2 hours. So I don't want to have to, I told you, the strongest password is the master password. Mine is like 14, 16 characters long. I don't want to be typing that every 5 minutes or 10 minutes. If I'm in an environment where I think someone might be looking over my shoulder or someone might hop onto my computer when I'm not right there, then I might change that to a lower number. But if I'm working at home or in the shop where it's just Joyce and I, or Joyce and I, and maybe Caitlin's here, I don't want it to lock every 10 minutes. I'm not worried about either of them getting in my Roboform. So I set it for 120 minutes. The good news is that means if I leave and my computer's here and I'm gone, if somebody breaks in and gets around our security system, by the time they get to my computer, Roboform is locked. But you should check that on yours because I've had some customers who have complained. They said, I have to constantly put the Roboform master password in. And unfortunately, that's one of the reasons that people pick an easy password for the master password because they don't want to type 14 or 16 characters. But please, I'm begging you, do not put an easy password on the master. Instead, go in here and change the time. And once you change the time and check or uncheck whatever you want, you just go down here to the bottom and you would just go ahead and click OK. And then that will be set and you'll be good to go. All right, the next thing is, and here's something that a lot of people who even have Roboform don't realize. Aside from passwords, it has another great feature. It will keep bookmarks or favorites. If you're a Microsoft person, we call them favorites in Internet Explorer and Edge, but most of the other browsers call them bookmarks. Okay, if you use multiple devices or you use multiple browsers, like in my case, I have Firefox, I have Opera, I have Google Chrome, and I have Internet Explorer. All those use Roboform and they all have their own bookmarking system. However, Roboform, you can add your bookmarks to Roboform and then anywhere you are, if you can log into your Roboform, you can get your bookmarks. It doesn't matter that you're not on the same computer where you bookmarked your bank or did something like that. If you do it in Roboform, you're good to go. And it's pretty easy. If you're on a web page, let's say I was on a web page that I wanted to save in my bookmarks. On the Roboform toolbar, there is an area that says Save. See it circled there. I click that, and then it asks me, do I want to save a login or a bookmark? But it's on bookmark because it defaults thinking that's what you want. You can create a new one, and you can give it a name. Now, this one says By Roboform because that's the page I was on. But you can give it a different name than what fits in there. Or you could replace one. So if I was replacing the one there here that says Roboform, I could click OK. I can also create it in separate folders. So if that were the case, I would click on Create In, and I would tell it which folder I wanted it to create the bookmarks in. And you can see over here on the right, these are just a few of my bookmarks. Okay, my bookmark folders. And I could put something in any of those bookmarks if I wanted, bookmark folders if I wanted to. So again, this is a feature that a lot of people that have Roboform don't even realize it's there, and it's easy to do. If you do a bookmark and let's say you want to then change it or edit it, you can click on the Roboform toolbar where it says bookmarks and then click edit. And when you do that, your bookmarks will come up and you could change a bookmark here. You could change the wording. You can do whatever you want to do with it. It's very simple to do. I could right click on a bookmark, which I've done on this one, and I could rename it. I could delete it. I could move it. In other words, I can move it from one folder to another folder. I can do all kinds of things with it simply by right clicking on it. So if you have Roboform and you haven't tried to bookmark sites, you need to try this because it's really nice that you don't have to have the same bookmarks in each browser or on both machines because you already have it in Roboform. All right, now we're going to take a look at a quick video. It's just a little over a minute long, saving your first password. So here we go. We're going to take a look at that now.
Thank you for installing Roboform. You're on your way to making your life easier. When you open your browser, you'll notice that you now have the Roboform toolbar installed. The first step to getting started with Roboform is to save your first login. Log into a website as you normally would. When you get to the website, enter in your username and password and then sign in. Roboform will automatically prompt you to save the login. You have the option to rename the login or use Roboform's suggested login name. Once you have decided on a login name, click on Save. Your login is now saved for future use. Let's try logging out of the website and logging in again, this time using Roboform. Select the login from the Roboform drop-down menu. Roboform will go to the website saved, enter in your previously saved username and password, and click on the Submit button. All of these steps will be completed for you in just one click. If you are already at the website, you can click on the login in the Roboform toolbar. Roboform will automatically fill out your information for you and log you into the website. As you can see, Roboform makes logging into websites quick and easy. You'll no longer need to remember or type any passwords again. Check out any of our other video tutorials for more information on how to use Roboform. Thanks again for downloading Roboform. We know you're going to love it.
Okay, now that is actually a video from Roboform themselves, and we're going to look at one more in a minute. But I do want to point something out about that particular video. As much as we love Roboform, there are a few sites that will not allow you to use Roboform to log in, or they'll have like extra steps that Roboform can't do. For instance, Joyce and I have a website that we go to for the business all the time, and that website puts one of those computer little codes that you have to fill in. You have to match the code, whatever it says, letters and numbers, etc. And it changes every time you go there. So Roboform on its own cannot log us into that website. It will put in the username, it will put in the password, but since it doesn't know what the computer generated code is going to be, it can't fill that in. And we fail on login because it doesn't know that. There are a few financial sites that will not let you use not just Roboform, but any password storage software. They will not let you use it. It just will not fill in. So if that happens to be the case, you can still store the information in Roboform because you can still put it in, but just know that you may have to go to it as a reference, but it won't automatically get you into the website. All right, let's look at another quick video.
How to edit a login. This tutorial will show you how to edit a login in Roboform. There are a few different ways that you can edit your logins. First, open your browser. Click on the Roboform drop-down menu, select Editor, and click on Logins. Choose the login that you want to edit in the left-hand column. On the right-hand side of the box, your login information will appear. Click on the pencil icon to edit the login. Once you have made changes, click on the disk icon to save your information. Another way to edit a login is to go back to the Roboform drop-down menu, choose Logins, right-click on the login, and select Edit. The Roboform editor will appear and you can edit your login.
Okay, so she showed you two ways. There's actually four ways, but you only need one or two ways. But the idea is that you can go and edit something you put in. And again, especially with Joyce and I with a business, we have some websites. I know you all love these websites. They make you change the password like every 90 days or 60 days. Well, it's real easy. You can go in and edit like she showed you, and you can change the password, change it in Roboform, change it on the website, and you're good to go. So that's just another thing you can do, edit a login. All right, we're we're going to be a little bit over today because there's just too much to do here. But if you can stick with us, just stick with us. That'd be great. The next thing I want to talk about is using Roboform to fill in data. We get these websites and we have to fill in a whole bunch of data. We can do that by going to identities in Roboform. And in this case, when we click on identities, we get this little window. It shows new, edit, print list. And right now you see in my Roboform, I had just John. So what I did for this webinar is I clicked on new and then I created one called Johnny. Okay, so that's a new identity. I put my name in there, I click OK, and now what happens is Johnny appears under identities, and under each identity, but it's Johnny, you have these separate things: person, business, passport, address, credit card, bank account, car, authentication, and custom. And you can click on any of those. Now, for the demonstration, I clicked on person. And if you look here, you can see you can put first, middle, last name, job title, phone, home telephone, work phone, cell phone, fax, email, Yahoo ID, MSN ID, AOL name, ICQ, Skype. You can pick sex, age, birth date, birthplace, income, social security number, driver's license, both the state and the number. You can fill in as much or as little as you like. Okay, so again, this is all encrypted in Roboform, much safer than even some websites, but you could fill out whatever you want to do there. And again, on each of these, if I clicked on business, it would be asking me to fill out information about the business, my address. Or if I go to that, if I want to put credit card in, I can do that, bank accounts, etc. And you choose, which you want to do. You just pick how much information you want to put in. And most of you know, if you use Google Chrome, Google also is very big on this. They will fill in a lot of form data, and that's fine and dandy too, but it's only good if you're in the Google Chrome browser. So if you need to be, let's say, an Internet Explorer because some website doesn't work right in Google Chrome, it would be nice if you had it in Roboform, and then you could go ahead and just do that. So that's another thing, using Roboform to fill in the data. All right, so we're really out of time, but if you'll take just a minute or two, I'm going to send something out here, and it's just like a little review to see how well you've captured what I've given you in a half hour. So which of these, the first question is, it's a 5-question quiz. Which of these browsers does not support Roboform? And you pick which one you think. The next one is, your Roboform Everywhere password and master password are the same, true or false? Which of the following is an example of a secure password? And you pick which one you think there. Once you save a password in Roboform, it can only be deleted, not changed. So true or false? And the final question is, besides saving your passwords, Roboform can also save, and then you pick from there what you think it can save. And then when you're done, click to send your data. All right, and we'll see how everybody's doing here. Some people are still filling that out. That's great. I'm very delighted to see so far that everyone, almost everyone who has answered number 3 has gotten the correct answer for a secure password. So we'll give you just another minute or two to finish that. We still have some people that have not taken the quiz yet. I'd appreciate it if you just fill that out. We'll give you another 2 minutes before we finish for today. All right, we're creeping up on the number of people that have completed. Still a couple yet to go. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to, well, still got a couple of people filling out. All right, just so we don't hold up and we're already over a half hour, here's what I'm going to end the quiz and I'm going to give you the answers. Which of these browsers does not support Roboform? The answer was Microsoft Edge. Just about everyone got that. That's great. Your Roboform Everywhere password and master password are the same. Most people got that answer correct. The answer is false. They are not the same and really shouldn't be the same. Number three, which is the example of a secure password? Overwhelmingly, uh, there were a couple that did not, but overwhelmingly, you picked the last one, which was the I2L1 capital H2C1 and 3 asterisks. Okay, that's one of my passwords. If you can figure out what website you can break in. Number four, once you've saved a password in Roboform, it can only be deleted. 100% of the people that answered that question got it correct. The answer is false. As we just showed near the end of the webinar, absolutely it can be edited and doesn't have to be deleted. And the last question actually has two answers. Besides saving your passwords, Roboform can also save bookmarks or favorites and personal data for forms. So you would have had to answer both of those questions to get the entire question correct. If you did get all the answers, you got 100%. Congratulations. There is still some more things that you can do in Roboform. We didn't talk about generating passwords yet. So, and a few other things. So it appears to me that we're going to do another webinar on Roboform using Roboform Part 2. And we'll cover generating passwords and again, a bunch of other things that I just couldn't squeeze in a half hour. So at this point, I'd just like to say thanks for joining us today. Watch for the follow-up. You'll be able to watch this whole thing again. You'll be able to see the PowerPoint if you want it. Thanks again for taking time out of your afternoon and have a great day.